We've been in a situation for a few months now where British farmers are not merely tilling the fields, but storming the gates of Westminster literally with their tractors, banners, exasperation led by Liz Webster. But they're the visible tip of a rural iceberg of resentment, and at the heart of the matter, the proposed inheritance tax changes by Rachel Reeves, set to strike in April 2026, a 20% levy on farm assets over £1 million, framed by the Treasury as fair and balanced, is seen by farming families as little more than a death tax dressed up in the garb of fiscal rectitude. But opposition is now coming from beyond these shores. From Merseyside to Missouri, this battle is becoming transatlantic. Most farms in Britain are land rich but cash poor. They survive not through dividends or speculation, but through daily labour, seasonal planning, and multi-generational stewardship. When Reeves announced that agricultural property relief and business property relief would be capped at £1 million, thousands of farmers read the budget not as a reform, but as a threat. YouTuber and Merseyside farmer Ollie Harrison, who is no stranger to straight-talking advocacy, has galvanised rural Britain with a simple demand, a 12-month amnesty. And he's got a petition out at the moment. I'll try and leave a link below. Just 1 year of breathing space to allow families to rearrange ownership succession and avoid the absurdity of having to sell land to pay a bill calculated by London bureaucrats with little grasp of rural life. Liz Webster, the founder of Save British Farming, has not only kept up the pressure, but has become a rallying point for both Remainers and Realists. And her campaign insists that this tax will not work, not economically, not socially, not politically. And into this peculiarly British crisis steps an unexpected champion, Donald Trump. Or rather his Agriculture Secretary, Brooke Rollins, who toured London last week, lambasting Reeves's tax policy and warning that such levies will close farms and outsource food security. Her message was unsubtle but effective. You cannot have national security without food security. It's a line that cuts across ideologies. She wasn't merely defending American agricultural exports, hormone-fed beef and chlorinated chicken notwithstanding. She was pointing out the irony. While Britain tightens the tax noose on its own farmers, it signs trade deals that open the door to cheap American imports. In effect, our government is weakening British farms just as it courts foreign competitors. And let's be honest, Trump's interest in British agriculture is not altruistic, it's opportunistic. By driving British farmers to the wall, his administration positions American beef, pork, poultry, and ethanol as attractive, cheap, and plentiful alternatives. The proposed tax is billed as affecting only the wealthiest quarter of the farming estates, but as any surveyor will tell you, £1 million is not a grand estate, it's an average working farm in 2025. Land values have risen. Margins have not, and this tax will hit multi-generational farms hardest. Those run by parents in their 70s hoping to pass land on to children in their 40s, many of whom already work the soil full-time anyway. These are not aristocrats clinging to privilege. These are labourers of the land, custodians of food production, biodiversity and national identity. And it's telling that even some Labour backbenchers are restive. The NFU has condemned the plan. Even Nigel Farage rarely wanted to miss a photo op has joined the tractor protests, and while his motives may be populist, the optics are potent, city technocrats versus muddy-booted realists. Meanwhile, the new UK-US trade deal, hailed as a breakthrough, threatens to become a Trojan horse. Rollins insists American meat is safe and that only 5% of US chicken is still chlorine-washed, but this defence misses the point. The British objection is not only about food safety, it's about production ethics, environmental standards, and an existential fear that British farming will be reduced to a decorative vestige while supermarkets stock foreign imports. Rachel Reeves argues that the 20% tax will fund public services, but which public services will benefit from rural communities' collapse, local economies faltering, and family farms being replaced by faceless agribusiness? Which benefits will benefit from that destruction? What we're witnessing is the beginning of a genuine rebellion, not orchestrated from think tanks or campaign offices, but by people whose political power lies not in headlines but in heritage. And farmers are not radical. They are by instinct conservative with a small c. If they are protesting, driving tractors to Westminster, pleading for an amnesty, signing petitions with grim determination, it's because they have no other choice. When even Trump's team can see the folly and American officials begin to sound more sympathetic to British farming than our own Chancellor, something must be deeply wrong. A government that taxes its food producers to the brink of extinction while striking deals to favour foreign producers is not just foolish, it's betraying the very soil beneath its feet.